Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Digital.Flash.Fire. This is Dan. Today we're talking about Tom Clancy's The Division. For those of you who don't know about this game, it is a kind of MMO in the same way that like Diablo 3 is. And it's very much a mix of Diablo 3 and Gears of War, actually. It's got that over-the-shoulder look. It has the... doesn't have the clunkiness you get with Gears of War, but it is a cover-based shooter with gear collection elements. They're very reminiscent of Diablo 3. A lot of people have compared it to Borderlands. A lot of people have compared it to Destiny. I think it's silly enough to be compared to either of those two, really. I mean, it isn't really... you know, you aren't fighting monstrous aliens, and this guy isn't an 800-pound gorilla to compare him with the Gears of War crowd, but it's pretty straightforward. It's not the ultra-realistic game that you would expect from a Tom Clancy title, nor is it a
How does it look?
flashy, explosive, skill-based game like you'd expect from something being compared to Diablo 3. Well, what this does is it kind of cherry-picks some of the best systems that you see from a lot of games, and it really works. This has been as fun and as addictive a game as you can imagine, and as you can see, it's also very immersive. I actually apparently have the dollar flu, judging by the coughing I've been doing these last couple days. You know, that's how you know a game is really good. So the premise of the game is that the world is afflicted with this flu called the dollar flu or the green flu from New York, and the Division is a bunch of government sleeper cells that, you know, one-man sleeper cells that are sent in to clean up the mess. And the first wave went in and didn't work for some reason, and this is causing some problems. Obviously, you know, when your super secret squirrel badasses fuck up like that, well, you need to figure something out. So they send in a second wave, and you are part of that second wave. And you are not proper military, you're not a member of any particular organization. You are merely part of the Division, a small, highly trained, heavily armed group that is meant to operate onesie-twosie to, I guess, save the world. In this case, we are sent into New York. You do the tutorial in Brooklyn, and then you head into New York City proper. Currently, it's mostly the south end of New York. It ends a little bit south of Central Park, and from what I remember of the opening videos, when we actually get to Central Park, it is going to be as hell. Now, one of the things about this game is it gives you a lot of options. Right now, I'm kind of beelining to a safe house, but as you can see, I'm passing missions, and a lot of these missions are... well, that's unfortunate. A lot of these missions are very... oh, how to put it? Repetitive. You know, you go in and, you know, you clear out this area. You guard these supplies while bad guys run up to them and try to shoot them. Kind of a silly mission, that one. You hunt down one named enemy and his two lieutenants. On the other hand, you have the actual story missions, and the story missions take the form of basically dungeons. You've got large buildings that you're going to be clearing out, like Madison Square Garden. You go into Madison Square Garden, which is turned into this big hospital/refugee center, and you clean out the bad guys that have taken it over. And the archetypes for the enemies are amazing. I'd like to do a video on that a little later on, where we talk about kind of the motivations and the the methods that each of the groups engage in. And there's the rioters, the cleaners, the Rikers, and the Last Man Battalion. And each of them has their own weapons, each of them has their own tactics.
Now entering a safe area.
And you're going to have to adjust your style a little bit to face each of them. Now, so far, I've had very good luck with the sniper rifle and close range heavy automatic weapon.
So you're the one they sent to help.
The voice acting is also kind of interesting.
One used to hang out around Deckard's till
I didn't really like Lau, the agent you work with at the very beginning. She just didn't really click with me, although she does get a lot better later. A lot of the supporting actors, the quest givers in each of the safe houses, some of them are just hilarious. There's one that thinks that he's a secret agent, just like you. There's one that is this neglected suburban mom. I mean, these guys are great. They really do lighten up the tone of what could easily be a very grim game.
Want to see what I've got here?
You do have kind of your classic shop here with weapons. You do have 3 statistics. You have your firepower, stamina, and skill, your electronics. You do want to keep it relatively balanced. There is a bit of the Holy Trinity in this. You will be, in some dungeons and some content, it really is useful to have a very powerful tank. You will definitely want a good healer on your squad. But there's a lot of, I see DPS having a bunch of different possibilities for builds. Each safe house has its own unique character as well. This one has kind of the high school gym look going. Some of them have... There's one that's in a really classy coffee house. There's another that's in a really nice wine bar. That's some kind of interesting choices. So here you can see the inventory. You've got firearms, stamina, and electronics. You can see the gear, your slots. You've got your face mask. You've got your chest armor. You've got your knee pads. You've got your holster, you've got your backpack, and you've got your gloves. And you can do a certain amount of crafting. You can craft gear for each slot. You can also craft mods, and most of your gear can be modded. That little green dot on the holster there is a mod spot. And the weapons all have a lot of mods. So in the mods, you've got things like your grips, sights, compensators, magazines. And usually they have a fixed property and maybe some random properties. You'll spend a lot of time trying to min-max your inventory or min-max your equipment. And one of the things that I've found is if you keep your stamina and electronic skills up, you can cover for a lot. I mean, your firepower it is literally the raw damage from the bullets coming out of your gun. Your skills are only affected by your skill power. And with my skill power on this character right now being very low, for example, right now I'm fiddling with turrets, and it's terrible. Oh my. You'll see just how completely ineffective it is. You'll also see up there, there's the supplies. That is the base building. We'll go into that a little bit later. The map of the city, you can see Central Park is right up there at the top. And then you've got the Dark Zone in the middle, and then the various districts filled with missions down south. You start where the base of operations is there in Pennsylvania Plaza. You've got Chelsea, Hudson Yards, and Pennsylvania Plaza are all kind of your beginning areas. And then
Our main suspect?
you've got kind of an intermediate zone up in the northwest, and then you start working your way counterclockwise down around the southern end of the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone, again, is... There's a lot of videos in it. It's an open PvP area, sort of. The penalty for loot being bad at PvP is really harsh, and especially if you initiate. So a lot of people just aren't initiating. They're grinding up the levels and getting gear, because it's also the high-end PvE zone, and everyone has access to it. I could go there right now and get really good gear, but you don't gain ordinary experience, you don't advance the story. So for now, I'm not fiddling with it. And you'll notice that an agent, missing agent just popped up. That's a first wave agent that has disappeared, and so I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity to go look for him. You'll see a couple of bad guys. Those are rioters. And I'm going to test out my handy-dandy turret. Pop that out, and... yeah. My shooting is doing great. The turret is just god-awful. And I'm guessing it would have done a lot better if I'd been able to upgrade it and if I'd had electronic skill that wasn't absolutely terrible. But a very low skill, especially on the turret, is abysmal. So we're going to keep following Peter Gibson, our agent. So you'll notice there's a bunch of icons around on the mini-map there. There's the light blue pentagram. Those are side missions. There's the yellow triangle. Those are base building. All the triangles are base building missions. Yellow is for the power. Green is for the hospital. And blue is for security. Now, I talked a little bit about the different stuck on an invisible block in the middle there. Not sure what's going on.
I'll just get out of your way.
Some of the different factions. The Rikers are known to be pretty grim. One of the later missions, you try to rescue a bunch of these JTF agents like that poor guy. And it is really, really bad. Oh, it is just... let's just say you don't really want to be captured by these guys. Now, I'm actually going to do a little side mission here on my way to Amherst's apartment. Amherst is a scientist who's suspected of making the dollar flu. So we're going to check out his place, but on the way, I'm going to do a little side mission, and we're going to see some of the storytelling that this game does. And we're going to kill a lot of bad guys. So here I've switched over to my machine gun, the 249 saw. You'll notice this thing has a really nice rate of fire. It's got a pretty steady aim, and it's got a huge ammo capacity. There I pop my self-heal. I've got med kits, and I've got the first aid self-heal. I like the first aid self-heal when I'm soloing. In groups, you would probably be better with the aid station deployable one. It's an AOE. It's a heal over time. Your throughput on that uptime is going to be a lot better to throw a whole bunch of turns out there at once. You'll notice that my turret gave me almost no support. And I have a grenade. And we're going to duck around. You see, I mean, the loot is really the same as it is everywhere else. It's just, hey, go over here and pick up the Pillar of Light. Now here I spot some loot, the electronics store. This is where you get crafting materials. Anywhere you see that kind of pale blue, that means that there is loot for you in that location. There's electronics. It's used in mods and some wearable gear. Back there, anything? Stairs. We're going to go up the stairs. And this is where some of that storytelling element is going to come in. Duck in here, and we have an echo. And an echo is a little vignette that you can see how events unfolded in this location during the outbreak. And I'm going to let this one play out and talk about it a little afterwards. Of course, we're going to loot before we actually get to the story.
After the last couple of days, I didn't expect anything good to happen, but it did. Miko was there. She recognized me, and she let me in. They live on the 3rd floor and still have electricity. I'm writing now by the light of an actual electrical bulb. Amazing how quickly that starts to seem unusual. Miko's partner, Drew, is a nurse. He's got some incredible stories about the first days of the bug. Neither of them can believe he's still alive. Every so often, while he's telling his stories, Miko will just reach out and touch him, like she wanted to make sure he was really there. I wish I could reach out and touch Bill.
Yeah, that's... It is amazing to me how much storytelling has progressed in the medium of video games. And like, I have no idea what is happening with April. I don't know if she's alive. I don't know if she's dead. I'm hoping to find out. If you know, don't spoil it for me, or you will rot in hell. I hope. And you can see this, the way these things are told, the way these stories are told is really amazing. I mean, look, this is something I compared to Gears of War a couple of minutes ago, and yeah, Gears of War had some stories, but nothing like that. Even the guy's wife, that wasn't anything compared to what we just saw. So, like I said, I have really enjoyed this game. You're seeing here a little mission where I'm just defending a checkpoint until some friendlies arrive, laying down some fire with my SMG. And this game is really gear dependent. Like I said, it's not realistic. If you have really good gear, you're just going to shred people like you see here. If you have really bad gear, you're going to suffer. A lot of people complain the guns don't feel right. I mean, look, if you're someone that plays Call of Duty, if you're someone that plays all these games, and they, you know the jargon even better than I do after 5 years in the Army, then yeah, you're not gonna enjoy this much because it's just not gonna be that realistic. For me, playing this game is kind of the escapist storytelling amusement. Playing this game for fun. This game has a lot of fun in it, even when I'm just ignoring the people running up behind me with guns. There we go. Now, one thing you'll see in this game that happens a lot is these factions don't like each other. That guy that just got shot from behind was, I believe, a rioter. These guys coming at me are Rikers. So they shot that guy because he's not on their side. Which is something really, really fun in this game. These rivalries really do, and they break out a lot. You get arms deals, and they've made a truce to try to sell some guns to each other, and then you lob a grenade in there. Well, that's really all you have to do. There's going to be a bunch of guys that are more than happy to shoot each other, all staring at each other. Now you'll notice the guy in the back has a purple icon over his head. He is an elite. There are purple and there are yellow elites, and the purples are a little bit tougher and don't dodge into the red area. The reds are your bases, purples are your regular elites, and yellows are the strong elites. And the AI is decent, it's not great. Mainly they seem to get a huge damage bonus anytime they have you flanked and out of cover. On the other hand, anytime you're hitting them, you're just going to cut them to ribbons. And there you see the mission. They don't take more than a couple of minutes. If you want to, while you're still progressing, while you're still clearing the map, you can just clear these missions, in 5-10 minutes each. And there's another lore object, that laptop. It's also got a bomb next to it, but hey, bombs don't hurt laptops. And what the lore objects do is they tell the story.
All right,
So
guys,
Joe
new
is
set
the
of
head of
assignments
the
for you today.
cleaners.
Martinez.
And he has his own story that
Take
is
you guys
really,
over to the Hudson Yards and
really
bring one of the
interesting.
tankers. Kaczynski found a shanty down there.
I'm not going
might
to spoil
require
that
some
one,
crowd control.
but there's
Make
a
sure
lot
they
more
don't
going
run.
to this guy than you would
Logan.
think. For a bunch of
There's a
psychos running around with
residential building uptown
flamethrowers
for you
trying
in
to burn
Hell's
New York to
Kitchen.
the ground.
It's pretty big, so make sure to cover the exit so no one
But you can
gets out.
see, again,
The
this
truck
is the
ready for
way
you
this
as well,
game
but
tells
don't
story.
go
There's
crazy.
the laptop and
I
the
don't
cell
wanna hear
phones
you
that
burn the whole
have
block down
bits
or
of story
nothing,
like
okay?
that. There's
The rest of you, stick to your patrol routes. You never know what might
echoes
be
that
creeping
have
back,
the little
even if you
vignettes, the
cleared it
little
out
scenes
yesterday.
playing out.
Now,
And
let's go to work.
one of the things I've learned when you're looking at the echoes is don't just look at what's in the middle. You know, search around, look on the edges, because there are a lot of things that you're going to see that you didn't notice in the first 5 seconds. And if you just, you know, activate it and pick it up and don't look, you're going to miss stuff. And that's going to be a shame. All right, folks, that about wraps it up for this video. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the systems, and we're going to go over a mission, and then we're probably going to talk about some of the bad guy groups. But for now, for Digital.Flash.Fire, this is Dan. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.